What's going on, guys? It's your boy Ethan. Hope you're having a great day. Very excited to announce the winning moment card protector here, the gold one, and I get a lot of requests about the people that missed out on the first WSOP card protector launch. That sold out in literally like a week. The Folding is Boring one sold out in literally a week, and I'm super excited to announce this because this is also, once again, another limited edition drop. So if you want to grab one of these, go to my link down below, rampagepokerstore.com, and it's up for a limited time. Supply lasts for however long it lasts. That you guys are crazy. I really love the support. Thank you so much for the opportunity, obviously, to even have merch available, and having it sell out is just absolutely incredible. So thank you so much for the support. I can't wait to see some of these on the felt. So if you ever grab one, I'm going to ship them out to you guys. Send me a picture on Instagram, tag me in it, and I'll try to repost all of them. And yeah, super excited about this one. But anyways, today we play a 2-5 and 5-10 session at Boston Billiard. Not a whole lot of 5-10 running in New Hampshire here with a 1K max buy-in. So hopefully enjoy this one. Things get big. We get some really big pots. And let's get into the hands. We hop into the 2-5 game waiting for our name to be called to the 5-10. And this is actually the first day of 8-handed poker in New Hampshire. So something a little different. Let's strap in. First hand in, under the gun with pocket eights, and there's a button straddle. There's a small blind open to $30. First hand playing 8-handed here. It's a little weird with having so many players behind me. I decided to just flat call here, knowing we're probably gonna go multi-way. This flat call by me invites the hijack, cutoff, and button to call. Time to navigate a flop 5 ways. The flop comes 6 deuce deuce rainbow, and on this board texture, a little bit easier to navigate now. And when the small blind checks to me, it's pretty clear he doesn't have any overpairs in his hand. So I bet out really small to $65, maybe charge some gut shots or overcards to call. But one by one, all the players fold, and we take the first pot down of the day. Next, we pick up King 10 of spades on the button, and action folds to me. Certainly going to be raising this one up, so I size to 20. Small blind folds, the big blind calls. The flop comes 10, 8, 5, 2 hearts, and a club. And when the small blind leads out for $25, we've got top pair and a good kicker. Certainly, he can have a lot of draws out there, so certainly going to put in a raise in this spot, and I size to 100. This player doesn't take too long before making the call, so it seems like he's got something he likes. The turn comes the ace of clubs, brings in 2 flush draws, and when he checks to me, this is pretty much one of the worst cards I wanted to see. Not the turn I'm looking for. I decided to just check back. The river is now the deuce of diamonds, and it's a total brick card, and for a second time he checks to me. Here, definitely thinking I can get value from some sort of 10x or 8x holding to bluff catch. Certainly confident that my hand is ahead right now, so I throw out a bet of $85. He thinks for quite some time. It seems like he doesn't love this situation, but ultimately ends up making the call. I show my hand, King 10 of spades, and he shows King 10 of clubs. Had the same hand the whole way, picked up the redraw on the turn, and I guess we're lucky to chop this one up. In the next spot with ace-queen offsuit under the gun with a button straddle, there's a big blind limp, and I'm certainly going to raise this up to $50 over the limper. The button straddler makes the call, and the big blind who limped also calls, so 3 ways to a flop. The flop is queen 8 deuce rainbow. Top pair, top kicker on a really dry board. Certainly going to go for some value, and when the big blind checks, I bet out $60. The button folds, and the big blind makes the call with a little under $700-ish in stacks. So I'm definitely trying to play for stacks on this kind of board texture. The turn is a 5, full rainbow on board, and for a second time he checks. Here, definitely trying to size up. Like I said, I want to play for stacks here, and when we size up on the turn, we have such a strong hand with top on this kind of board texture. We got to assume that our hand is good so we can get weaker queens to call, or maybe even smaller pocket pairs to make a crying call. Anyways, we size up to $225, and now this player tanks for a while. With this bet, he counts out all of his chips, and it seems like he wants to fold or shove, because he counted out his chips like 4 times. So he's got like $685. I counted along with him while he was counting. But ultimately, this player ends up folding, which is not the news we want to see. Unfortunate there, maybe a little too greedy, a little too big on the turn, but here we are. Next, we pick up ace-jack offsuit on the small blind, and there's a cutoff limp. Action folds to me, and here certainly going to put in a raise, so I sized to $25 given we're out of position. And now next to act in the big blind, 3 bets to 75. The limper gets out of the way and back onto me against a big blind player who seems to be one of the stronger players here on the table, and he 3 bets a lot. Given we're out of position, I think flat calling is just the worst option available. Folding also just might be as bad given how strong our hand is, but I don't really want to call and handcuff myself to play a 3-bet pot out of position. Our hand definitely performs well against his 3-betting range given this configuration, so I think we can just 4-bet and take this down pre, or at least 4-bet and put on some pressure. So I size up to this 4-bet to $225, and good news for us, he folds fairly quickly, so happy to take down $80. So after that light 4-ball, we pick up a really good 4-bet candidate, Ace King of Diamonds in the hijack. There's an under the gun and a +1 player who limps onto me. In position of them, I size up to $30. $30 is good enough of a price for the big blind and both limpers, so we're going to go 4 ways to a flop. The flop comes King, Queen, 8, 2 clubs, and first to act in the big blind leads out for $50. Really interesting line here, and under the gun player who limped folds, the +1 player who limped calls, and now me to close out the action. Raising here could certainly be a play that I could get behind. It's just so draw heavy, we're in position, and I think we can play a lot of runouts. So I decided on just a call, a little bit iffy about my decision here. Anyways, the turn comes the Jack of Clubs. Pretty much, once again, one of the worst cards to come. And when action checks to me with top pair, top kicker, although that's a good hand typically, on this board texture, not as great. I just check this one back. The river is now the Queen of Hearts. So really interesting as when action goes check, check on the turn, I don't really know how many Queen X's someone can have here, but the big blind checks. Now, player to my right and +1 throws out a bet of $255. Sure, we have top pair, top kicker, but I think this is a clear-cut fold given the specific runout, and I think these large river bets usually aren't bluffs. Given the line taken, it feels like this is someone who's trying to extract max value from missing value on the turn. So I decided to just let this one go, ace-king, and the big blind folds as well, so we actually don't get to see what we had, but I don't really know if I loved or hated how I played this ace-king hand. Outside for a little mid-session update. It's been about an hour 30 of playing 2-5. So today actually was the day that New Hampshire lifted the 6-handed rule for poker tables. So now we're playing 8-handed here at Boston Billiard, which is not great for me. It's just so much slower, and I love 6-handed, much more fast-paced. You play more hands, and I forgot how much you folded normally in like a live poker session. So unfortunate there. So it's been like snail's pace is what's going on in my head. Anyways, we got called for the 5-10. So the 2-5 we played for about like an hour and a half, give or take. We were in the game for 1,000, out of the game for 11-15. And the 5-10 here, it looks super grindy. I'm not sure how long I'm gonna be playing it, to be honest with you, but I'm gonna try to get a couple hands, add it to the vlog. But yeah, super grindy, reg heavy, and not really the best 5-10 game, I don't think, but we'll go with the flow. We'll step up to the plate because we do have to play some 5-10 because every other vlogger seems like they're playing like 10, 20, 20, 40, crazy stakes. So we'll play our 5-10, 1K max. It's unfortunate that it's not bigger, but we'll ride the variance. Wish us luck. We'll see how it goes. The third hand we get dealt in this 5-10, we pick up Jack 6 of spades on the big blind. Not the best hand in the world. Action folds to the cutoff, who opens it up to $25. Action folds to me, and it's a really tiny sizing for only $15 more. This is a playable enough hand since it's suited. We make the call. The flop comes 9-7-6 rainbow, so with a pair, certainly not the worst thing in the world. I decided to check. He throws out a bet of $35, and I think we have a pretty easy defend here, although we have bottom pair. We have backdoor spade draws, and whatever. I make the call and see a turn. The turn is the Jack of Clubs. There's the card we wanted to see. Brings in 2 clubs on the board, and I think I can sometimes actually lead out here, given we're out of position. We have a very disguised 2 pair, but decided to slow down with a check. Now he throws out a bet of $85, and I think our decision here is pretty crystal clear. No need to slow play this out of position. We hit the best turn pretty much we could ask for. So I put in that check raise to $275, but sadly he snap folds, so happy to take down the first hand of 5-10. This next hand, we pick up pocket rockets American Airlines in the low jack. Even better news, the under the gun player raises it up to 40. Folds to me, and facing an under the gun open, it's just music to our ears. We size up with this 3-bet to 150. I want to incentivize other players to fold or at least call a larger price. So with my $150 raise, the button actually cold calls. Not sure what's going on here. He's in position of us, which is amazing, but he also has a pretty short stack for 5-10. The blinds fold, and the under the gun player also decides on a call. So we've got a pretty big pot brewing here, going to a flop 3 ways. The flop comes 10, 4, deuce, 2 spades, and the under the gun player checks to me, not holding a single spade in hand. We unblock the flush draw. So I decided to c-bet $175 in this instance. Back to the button player, who thinks for a while, ends up ripping his whole stack in there for $451 total. At this point, we're just kind of assuming the under the gun player is going to fold, and we're just going to snap this one off, obviously, for less than $300. But now this under the gun player thinks for a little bit, and he's got other plans in mind. He rips his whole stack in there, and he covers me. And yeah, we're just going to snap this one off too, I guess. We've got about $900-ish total in stack, so we've got a pretty big pot brewing. So we're going 3 ways, all in to a run out. Only one run out here, so let's just see what happens. It goes runner, runner, deuces, so we end up with the full house. I show my aces here, assuming we've got to be good unless we're up against some sort of pocket 4s or pocket 10s holding. Anyways, I show, under the gun player shows king jack of spades for the missed spade draw. The button ends up folding, and we scoop a massive pot our way. Shout out to Joe, who was the player under the gun. He watched the channel, and it was really nice playing with you. Thanks for being a really good sport about this hand, even though it was really big. Hope to see you again at the tables. After the massive pocket aces hand, we pick up another really interesting spot with 7s in the big blind. The hijack opens to $25, 2.5x seems pretty small. Now the button, Joe, who we were just involved with, he 3-bets to $155, and he's got $20 in whites behind, so pretty much an effective all-in. On to me, and I definitely don't want to 4-bet here, and I don't want to commit more money if the hijack actually has a premium. And I don't want to fold either because it's essentially a 17 big blind shove, and with 7s, we're doing really well against that range. So I decided to just flat call, really just hoping my call will force the hijack player out of the hand, which does happen. So luckily, we don't have to sweat out too much. We're going to a flop, and essentially we're just all in here. The flop comes jack 8-10 rainbow. Joe's got $20 behind. We have an under pair. I'm just going to go with it no matter what. I guess we'll see what happens. I bet out 20. He makes the call, obviously, and we just both show for the vlog. We're up against king 9 offsuit, so he's actually got a lot of equity against us with an open-ended draw and 1 over. The turn comes a king, so that just shuts our hopes of winning this pot down immediately. And we double him up. So nice hand, Joe. Got a little bit of a rampage rebate. One of the last interesting hands we play on this 5-10 table, we pick up ace-queen off in +1. I open up the action to $30. Player to my left makes the call, and we're going to a flop. The flop comes ace, 8, 6, 2 spades, and here with ace-queen, I'm going to do something very strange and just check. Mix in some stronger hands in our checking range, and when I check, he throws out a bet of $25. As played, not going to check raise this flop, I just make the call. The turn comes the 8 of diamonds, and for a second time, obviously, gonna play in flow now, I check. He bets 50, and another easy and standard decision, I make the call. The river is now the 9 of hearts, so interesting board texture here. The spade rods do miss, which is nice, and I can either just lead out or just check for a third time, hoping he might be able to bluff with it. Regardless, I decided on leading out here. I really thought it'd be a disaster if action goes check on the river and we miss out on so much value. So I decided to size up to 175, looking like a pretty bluffy sizing. This player goes deep into the tank now for about a minute or so, and ultimately ends up on a fold, sadly. So our weirdly played ace queen got us a little bit of money, but I feel like we could have gotten more if we did the betting ourselves. Yo, just cashed out and it was a good session. Good day overall today. Once again, still running pretty darn well, especially obviously like the only big hand of that 5-10 session. We were up against an unknown hand, and then we were up against the flush draw, and always nice to have the flush draw break out and scoop a really big one. And that was pretty much it that happened in the 5-10 game. Played a few more hands, you know, won a few small ones, lost a few small ones. And I'm getting more into 4-bet or light 4-bets. They seem to be working, especially when you're out of position. Just trying to balance the 4-betting range a little bit more from value and bluffs, I think, is really helpful, especially when you play like 5-10 plus and against like more competent players. But that's my experiment so far, and it's going okay. So let me get in the car, and I'll talk to you guys about the numbers. Yeah. So we played the 5-10 for maybe 2 hours, give or take, something like that. In the game for 1,000, out of the game for 2,644. So once again, still on this little uptick here after our 5-session mini downswing. So far things are going really smoothly. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. Looks like this gold card protector, the winning moment here, brought us some run good here. So if you want some, we aren't restocking like I said, so get it while supplies last, get it while it's still available. So thanks so much for the support. Thanks for even letting like just having me be able to sell merch be like an opportunity and a thing for me. It's always awesome, and I'm going through putting all the packages together. You guys literally make me stay up till like 4 or 5 a.m. just going through and handling and shipping out all the packages, and I honestly love that process. So anyways, thank you so much for watching the video. If you want to grab one, link in the description below. I'll see you guys next time in this video. Peace.